the words of Binyamin, which he commanded his sons to observe after he had lived 125 years. And he kissed them and said, As Yitzchak was born to Abraham in his old age, so also was I to Jacob. And since Rachel my mother died in giving me birth, I had no milk. Therefore I was suckled by Bilhah, her handmaid. For Rachel remained barren for 12 years, after she had borne Joseph, and she prayed to Yahuwah with fasting 12 days, and she conceived and bare me. For my father loved Rachel dearly, and prayed that he might see 2 sons born from her. Therefore was I called Binyamin, that is, a son of days. And when I went into Egypt to Joseph, and my brother recognized me, he said unto me, What did they tell my father when they sold me? And I said unto him, They dabbled thy coat with blood, and sent it, and said, Know whether this be thy son's coat. And he said unto me, Even so, brother. When they had stripped me of my coat, they gave me to the Ishmaelites, and they gave me a lion cloth, and scourged me, and bade me run. And as for one of them that had beaten me with a rod, a lion met him and slew him. And so his associates were affrighted. Do ye also therefore, my children, love Yahuwah, Elohim of heaven and earth, and keep his commandments, following the example of the good and holy man Joseph. And let your mind be unto good, even as ye know me, for he hath bathed his mind right, seeth all things rightly. Fear ye Yahuwah, and love your neighbor, and even though the spirit of Beliar claim you to afflict you with every evil, yet shall they not have dominion over you, even as they had not over Joseph my brother. How many men wished to slay him, and Elohim shielded him? For he hath feareth Elohim, and loveth his neighbor, cannot be smitten by the spirit of Beliar, being shielded by the fear of Elohim. Nor can he be ruled over by the devices of men or beasts, for he is helped by Yahuwah through the love which he hath towards his neighbor. For Joseph also besought our father that he would pray for his brethren, that Yahuwah would not impute to them as sin whatever evil they had done unto him. And thus Jacob cried out, My good child, thou hast prevailed over the bowels of thy father Jacob. And he embraced him and kissed him for 2 hours, saying, In thee shall be fulfilled the prophecy of heaven concerning the Lamb of Elohim and Savior of the world, and that a blameless one shall be delivered up for lawless men, and a sinless one shall die for ungodly men, and the blood of the covenant for the salvation of the Gentiles and of Yasharal, and shall destroy Beliar and his servants. See ye therefore, my children, the end of the good man? Be followers of his compassion, therefore, with a good mind, that ye also may wear crowns of glory. For the good man hath not a dark eye, for he soweth mercy to all men, even though they be sinners. And though they devise with evil intent concerning him, by doing good, he overcometh evil, being shielded by Elohim, and he hath loveth the righteous as his own soul. If anyone is glorified, he envieth him not. If anyone is enriched, he is not jealous. If anyone is valiant, he praiseth him. The virtuous man he laudeth. On the poor man he hath mercy. On the weak he hath compassion. Unto Elohim he singeth praise. And him that hath the grace of a good spirit he loveth as his own soul. If therefore ye also have a good mind, then will both wicked men be at peace with you, and the profligate will reverence you and turn unto good, and the covetous will not only cease from their inordinate desire, but even give the object of their covetousness to them that are afflicted. If ye do well, even the unclean spirits will flee from you, and the beasts will dread you. For where there is reverence for good works, and light in the mind, even darkness fleeth away from him. For if anyone does violence to a holy man, he repenteth, for the holy man is merciful to his reviler, and holdeth his peace. And if anyone betrayeth the righteous man prayeth, though for a little he be humble, yet not long after he appeareth far more glorious, as was Joseph my brother. The inclination of the good man is not in the power of the deceit of the spirit of Beliar, for the angel of peace guideth his soul. And he gazeth not passionately upon corruptible things, nor gathereth together riches through a desire of pleasure. He delighteth not in pleasure, he grieveth not his neighbor, he satteth not himself with luxuries. He errs not in the uplifting of the eyes, for Yahuwah is his portion. The good inclination receiveth not glory, nor dishonor from men, and it knoweth not any guile, or lie, or fighting, or reviling, for Yahuwah dwelleth in him, and lighten up his soul, and he rejoiceth towards all men always. The good mind hath not two tongues of blessing and of cursing, of continually and of honor, of sorrow and of joy, of quietness and of confusion, of hypocrisy and of truth, of poverty and of wealth. But it hath one disposition, uncorrupt and pure concerning all men. It hath no double sight, nor double hearing. For in everything which he doeth or speaketh or seeth, he knoweth that Yahuwah looketh on his soul. And he cleanseth his mind, that he may not be condemned by men, as well as by Elohim. And in like manners the works of Beliar are twofold, and there is no singleness in them. Therefore, my children, I tell you, flee the malice of Beliar, for he giveth a sword to them that obey him. And the sword is the mother of 7 evils. First the mind conceiveth through Beliar, and the first there is bloodshed, secondly ruin, thirdly tribulation, fourthly exile, fifthly dearth, sixthly panic, seventhly destruction. Therefore was Cain also delivered over to 7 vengeances by Elohim, for in every 100 years Yahuwah brought one plague upon him. And when he was 200 years old, he began to suffer, and in the 900th year he was destroyed. For on account of Abel his brother, with all the evils was he judged, but Lamech with 70 times 7. Because forever those who are like Cain, in envy and hatred of brethren, shall be punished with the same judgment.